Like people, not all brands stand for something. Only the great ones. When a 23-year-old watchmaker from what is now the Czech Republic took his skills from the benches of a young Tiffany & Company to start his own brand, his namesake, he stood for something. He stood for something that he, from that day forward, always would. The prospect of a better tomorrow. A smarter, richer, freer future. 148 years later, Bulova is celebrating his pursuit with 2 new releases. Accutron started as a research project in 1952. Bulova saw the limitations of even fine mechanical watches in a world more advanced by the second, and needed something different, something evolved. And not just for civilians, but for astronauts and spies. By 1959, in the heat of the space race, NASA bought in. They believed in Bulova and began equipping cockpits with their new technology. Ultimately, Bulova's Accutron instruments were trusted in critical positions on 46 missions of the United States space program. This watch, the Lunar Pilot, is a nod to a time when Bulova wasn't chosen by NASA, but still saved the day. It was Apollo 15, the 4th mission to land men on the moon, and on the wrist of the mission's commander, who was charged with timing the craft's re-entry into Earth's atmosphere, was a broken watch. Its crystal had popped right off. It couldn't stand the pressure. Instead, a prototype chronograph, never before space tested, timed the module's safe re-entry back to Earth. It was a Bulova. A watch never built to serve this mission performed, when even one that was, failed. The Lockheed A-12, the high-altitude reconnaissance aircraft built specifically for the CIA, made its first flight in 1962. While seemingly no detail was overlooked in the development of the A-12, there were special circumstances when the internal pressure of the cockpit reached up to 140 degrees and traditional wristwatches could just no longer withstand the heat. Old technology was no longer reliable, but Bulova's Accutron was. And each pilot was issued theirs, which would go on to serve them as they flew at speeds well above Mach 3 at altitudes up to 90,000 feet over North Vietnam, Laos, and North Korea, including a 1968 mission that located the USS Pueblo after its capture by the North Korean Army. Like people, not all brands stand for something, only the great ones. Bulova, true pioneers, humble servants to the future, through time and space.